Thanks for coming to 1500ESPN.com. Judd Zolgad, Derek Wetmore, who runs the show here at the website. All right, Derek, the big news this weekend, Kevin Love reportedly getting closer. I don't want to say he's demanded a trade because, one, he hasn't, and number two, we've known this was coming all along, but we took another definite step, in reports at least, to Kevin Love wanting out of Minnesota, and now the question becomes, one, how quickly should the Wolves accommodate him, and two, where do they go from there?
Yeah, if the Wolves don't decide if they're going to keep Kevin Love long term, I think this is generally the theory, but certainly it's what I believe. If they feel they can't extend him, they can't convince him with any amount of money, they can pay him more than any other team. If they can't convince him you are staying here, they're doing themselves a disservice by entering this season with Kevin Love. His trade value is probably highest right now, right around the time of the draft lottery and then the NBA draft itself,
right,
than it would be at any point in the season. And of course, if you enter the season, you run the risk of him either he plays poorly or he gets injured, and that just blows up in your face. I think if you're resigned to trading him, now's the time.
So the NBA draft lottery, which the Wolves have never moved up in, is tomorrow night. Right now, I think since the Love reports resurfaced this past weekend, we've had plenty of speculation. We'll continue to speculate. At least once we know where the Wolves are going to pick, we'll have a little bit of clarity.
Yeah, that is a linchpin in this whole situation. It depends not only what happens to the Wolves, but what happens to some of the other teams too. The other day for 1500ESPN.com, I looked up, did some number crunching and just some of that stuff.
You're very negative in this number crunching, by the way.
Not really, because I think a lot of people are talking about the Wolves as a star-crossed franchise, and, well, they're 13th, so naturally what's going to happen, either they're going to stay 13, the overwhelming likelihood, or Phoenix is going to leapfrog them, get a top 3 pick, and the Wolves' 2014 first-round selection is top 13 protected, which is a long way of saying if Phoenix jumps them and the Wolves move back to 14, they lose their pick. Doomsday scenario. I looked up some of those numbers, and it's a 1.8% chance that happens, Judd. So
the doomsday.
Less than 1 in 50 that the Wolves lose that pick. Likely, they will be selecting 13th overall. But there's also a glass half full way of looking at it, too. The chances that the Wolves move up to either the top pick, the second pick, or the third pick in the 2014 NBA draft, cumulatively, it's about 2.2%. So if you ran the NBA draft lottery 50 times, you would expect the Wolves with a top 3 pick at least once. And who knows? I don't believe in franchise curses. I don't think that, you haven't lived your whole life following the Wolves like I have. But I don't think their fate is sealed. Overwhelming likelihood is that they stay at that number 13 pick, but there's still a chance that they get lucky tomorrow night.
Flip Saunders was hired a year ago May to return to this franchise as president of basketball operations. In my opinion, 1 year later, he will be defined by what he does here. And by that, I mean this. If you're looking for a parallel, and I realize it's a different sport, but the Twins and Johan Santana are the perfect parallel, because the Twins had a bidding war created for Santana, and they either got haughty or scared or whatever, but they allowed that bidding war to dry up and go away. Flip Saunders, if he's smart, in my opinion, what he will do is he'll take Love to market. As soon as he knows where the Wolves are going to draft lottery-wise, he'll take him to market. He will lie to every team he talks to. He will create bidding wars. He won't care where he sends Love, but he will trade him. He'll decide on a package, the best package possible, and trade him. Because, in my opinion, the worst thing he can do, Derek, is wait and wait and wait and have teams drop out of the bidding process, because let's face it, once that happens, when it comes to Kevin Love, your leverage is gone.
You can't materialize a market, I don't think. I think you find who's interested, you find what packages they'd be willing to give up, you pick the best package, and you pull the trigger. If a lot of people look at this, just to clear up one thing right off the bat, a lot of people look at this, well, you can't get the value back from Kevin Love. Kevin Love is a top 5 NBA player. Yeah, I agree with that. But if he's going to be here for 1 season, you're trading that season for this package of players. You're not trading Kevin Love, his career. You're not trading his career for this package of players.
Well, he's going to leave you for nothing if you allow that to happen.
What you want to try and do is do what you did with Percy Harvin.
Yes.
The Vikings got a great haul from Percy Harvin.
Yep.
Conversely, if you just walk into this year and you can't trade him, but you don't think he's going to stay, what the Wild did with Marion Gaborik. He walks in free agency and you get absolutely nothing. That sets the franchise back more, I think, than risking a trade. You could make a bad trade, and that could set you back a number of years too. But if they're resigned to not being able to re-sign this guy for longer term, they have to trade him.
And once they trade him, you being the young curmudgeon you are, why don't you bring up your point about us Minnesotans never being able to keep what we have?
We always talk about you have a good thing and
I shouldn't laugh.
Ready to leave. I know. I'm laughing at us and at myself, too, because Richard Pitino, good season with the Gophers. Who's he leaving for? Where's the first school that he's going to jump ship for?
Yeah, they're talking to him from everywhere.
Tennessee. If Kevin Love leaves, and I should say when Kevin Love leaves, it'll reaffirm our Minnesota can't have nice things complex. If anything gets too good, how long is it before it leaves? And that's just going to cement that in our minds, I think.
So how justified is our paranoia about this, though? Because if
this
Kevin
isn't
Love
paranoia.
No, but I'm saying that the fact that we think this, how justified is that given the fact that there have been several athletes from this town and at least one coach, Lou Holtz, who said, it's been fun, see ya.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not made up.
It is justified, I know, but I just think this inferiority complex will render itself again as soon as Kevin Love leaves. It says, see, he developed into too good of a player for us. We couldn't keep him.
I'm going to go suck my thumbnail.
Do whatever you do to...
Say bye for us. I'm sucking my thumb.
Whatever you do to make you feel better.
I'm pouting.
We'll cover the NBA Draft Lottery tomorrow, obviously. Keep checking back to 1500ESPN.com. I'll try and console Judd Zolgad.
Bye.
Thanks for coming to the website.